The regime is ultimately what people fear the most. They want to make sure that at the tail end of all this regime actually collapses, which is what I mean by saying don't throw it another lifetime. This regime is on its way down. People know it. And the biggest fear is, what if this regime was to survive? That's why I keep saying this regime must go. The only solution for Iran's liberation and for peace is for this regime to be no longer there. This is an opportunity in front of us. So we are doing what we can as Iranians fighting this brutal regime. It is time for the international community to finally decide whether this time they're going to be with the people and help them overthrow this regime. If America or Israel had to respond under whatever threat, ultimately they have to recognize that by a change of regime, everything changes. So it's not that they need to advocate for regime change. It is that they simply have to recognize that regime change is the only ultimate solution, which is exactly why I'm here today and what we need to work together so that, A, we guarantee Iran and Iranians a democratic future, but also through that democratic future, it will give the world a sense of relief and trust that that element will lead to stability, to peace, and an end to any aspect that has been threatening and menacing the world and the region because of the nature of this regime.
Il avait toujours pour habitude de dire Amar Barsha, Marosha. Est-ce que vous, 46 ans?
All these moments, all these movements that people have tried to fight and died for, fighting an unequal war against an extremely repressive regime, now the regime is even weaker than it was yesterday, because two other instruments, one that incarcerates them, another one that strikes them, is being eliminated. I think these are things that are, in the view of our people, positive. And they know that this is not targeting our country, it's targeting our regime. Because the only war that matters here is the war that the regime is waging on the Iranian people. And we're talking about winning that war against them. I'm stepping in to lead this transition. I don't believe I need a title to play that role. The important thing is to be someone who can galvanize the nation, unite as much as possible the majority of democratically minded secular forces within the opposition and the political spectrum, as I mentioned. But most importantly, how can we, post-collapse, step into that phase of transition, working together, of course, with many elements who are in Iran today, who will be joining us in that effort to make sure that we can stabilize the transition phase.
According to suggest that people are more clearly opposed at this stage to the war than they are to the...
I have a direct message for Ali Khamenei. Step down, and if you do, you will receive a fair trial and due process of law, which is more than you have ever given any Iranian. To other senior regime officials, those of you whose hands are soiled with the blood of the Iranian people, you too will have to face justice. But we will not repeat the mistakes in other failed transitions.
Or even a hastily constructed nuclear weapon?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the first part.